Shalom, sisters. Yahawashi. So to give you sisters a little backstory on the title and what it says, basically, I am a sister that is wrongfully put away, right? So therefore, I live on my own, and it's not by choice, sisters. Okay, this is just my tribulation. And so what took place was my AC in my home wasn't working. And so honestly, sisters, I didn't want maintenance in my home. I just don't like the idea of another man just walking around my house, even though I'm put away, and I don't have any assistance. It just still rubbed me the wrong way, like making maintenance requests and having men inside the home, it's just uncomfortable to me. So I did bear my AC being off for like quite some time. I'm not going to give the time frame. I don't need nobody judging me like, girl, why you waited that long? But just know it was quite some time. And so one day I was just like, you know what, like, okay, it was just on my spirit, like, it's time, like, let me go ahead and make the maintenance request. So I made the maintenance request, and he came to the house and he started to work on the air condition. Now, he ended up inviting another they're both Issacharites. He ended up inviting another Issacharite to come in to assist him, and that was it, right? So I think that was like May 19th, and then May 27th, the maintenance guy came back looking suspicious, right? So, he knocked on the door, and for some reason, I can't see out my peephole, like it's all scratched up. The people before me scratched it up. And so I didn't know who was at the door. So I was like, who is it? He said maintenance. So I had to go put on, clothing, and I end up cracking the door open like, hey, what's up? So he handed me the paper. He was like, you have a request. First and foremost, sisters, when I opened the door, he said, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. Like his countenance looked very suspicious. Like he looked like he was being sneaky, And one thing that I learned in this truth, do not ignore like what's on your spirit. People in the world call it that gut feeling or those spidey senses. Like, don't ignore it, because for the longest, I would give people the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, no, maybe I'm tripping. I always end up getting backstabbed by these people. So, when I opened the door, he just looked nervous. Like, he looked very, very nervous. And he was just like, sorry to bother you. And sisters, when maintenance usually come to the door, they come to the door with confidence because they know that you put in a request. So typically, like in the past, my experience would be, hey, maintenance, like you put in a request for your AC, something like that. But he looked very nervous. Like he was talking with a low tone, like, oh, sorry to bother you, you got a maintenance request? Like very, very sneaky. And I was like, you did it already. And he was like, oh, okay. And he handed me a paper with May 19th as the date. It's May 27th. So you really think you just now get into that request? And mind you, when I opened the door, sisters, he could have said, oh, yeah, I did do it already. Like, he had no confidence when he was at the door. But when he first came to do my maintenance request, he was all confident. Like, yeah, he here for a reason. He here rightfully. But the second time he came, you could tell he knew he didn't have no business being there. being at my door because he already did the request. But it kind of gave like he came back on some like lustful type time. And honestly, like I was telling myself, I wouldn't be surprised if like he would have came in to try to, like, if he was hoping that I wasn't home, and he probably would have came in to like maybe put cameras in or whatever. But Yahawashi say, not his daughter, not their daughter. And so I closed the door, and sisters, and like the next day, I end up going to tell the front office, just to be wise. Like, let me tell the front office, even though here is the correct, I was like, let me tell the front office, like, I definitely want them to know. And so I told the front office, and it was like, okay, we'll keep that in mind and let them know, like, basically they shouldn't be doing that. Like, you don't go to nobody's house and they don't have a maintenance request open. And so I end up seeing him after I told the front office, and I drove by him. When I drove by him, he was covering his face with his hand. But when I looked out the rearview mirror to see him, he was staring at the car like a demon. And he stared at me all the way until I got down somewhere in my apartment to where I was further away from him seeing me. That's when he stopped. And I was like, okay, like, nigga, you want to play? Like, I'm not gonna lie, sisters, I was so pissed because leave me alone, And like, that was the whole reason of me not putting in a maintenance request, because like, don't get comfortable, And so, I end up throwing up prayers, and I end up having to buy me a Ring camera. I'm not gonna lie, sisters. Like, my intent wasn't to be over righteous, but I just don't like the whole Ring camera thing. It's just very like Babylonianized to me. But all these apartments I had, I never had a Ring camera, and I end up just getting one, through the Spirit. So, because I can't see out my peephole, so I got a Ring camera, and I end up seeing the maintenance guy another time after saying the prayers to Yahawashi, getting a Ring camera, and just like trying to be bold in my spirit and not be weak and not fear. And y'all, I saw this man, I think it was 2 days ago. He drove by and he bowed his head to me. Literally, he bowed his head to me like, how, I think it's only one way that you can imagine that. He was driving by in his golf cart, because the maintenance men, they ride on their golf cart. He was driving by in his golf cart, and he bowed his head to me when he looked in my car, because I was sitting in the car letting my car warm up. And he looked to me and he bowed his head. And I was like, because he went from acting sneaky, suspicious, lustful, like he had an agenda, to now like he seemed humbled in his spirit and like, yeah, let me not type time, So that praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahawashi. And sisters, I just wanted to give that testimony. But definitely I could tell we in them times, like, for sure. And I'm a sister who know for a fact that I can't do bad all by myself. Like that's definitely not my mindset, but this is the lot that I have, And I imagine Abigail a lot in this situation. Like, I really imagine that sister a lot, and I can only imagine what she was going through, like, But all in all, like, Yahawashi still protected me, just like he did Abigail. He ended up, but he used her wisdom, and she was protected from death, And Yahawashi, protected me in this situation, to where I don't have, my husband here to guide me and, protect me and have a presence in the home to where a maintenance man wouldn't even he wouldn't even think twice if he saw a man in this home, you know? But yes, sisters, that's just my testimony. Yahawashi changed that evil thought to something else. I don't know what, but I'm safe, and really other things happened that I don't think I should add it to this video, but I just really been in the house more so than ever these days. So yeah, kind sisters, just be careful and keep praying to Yahawah to protect you, and shalom.